Hey everybody, Regina Andler here, and it is time for Coffee with Regina. Now we have a special time today, so it is noontime Eastern time, so I have my water bottle, not my coffee cup. And today my special guest is Jill Lublin, and I want to tell you a little bit about Jill. Jill is an international speaker on topics of publicity, networking, kindness, and referrals. And I love that kindness is all mixed in there. She's the author of 4 best-selling books, including Get Noticed, Get Referrals. And she's the co-author of Guerrilla Publicity and Networking Magic. This is going to be a really cool conversation. Her latest book, Profit of Kindness, went to #1 in 4 different categories. Now, Jill is a master strategist on how to position your business for more profitability, more visibility in the marketplace. She's the CEO of a strategic consulting firm that has over 25 years experience working with over 100,000 people, plus national and international media. How cool is that? Jill teaches a virtual publicity bootcamp, listen up, and consults and speaks all over the world. She's spoken on many stages with luminaries such as Tony Robbins. She also leads a conscious kindness community. Welcome, Jill. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Regina. So glad to be here with you.
There's just so much that we could talk about, and we know we only have a short amount of time to do that. So let's just dive right into publicity. So as you know, we have an audience here of business owners, coaches, consultants. And when you think about business, business is great. And if nobody knows that you exist, you really kind of don't have a business. So publicity is where it's at.
Publicity is where it's at. You bet it is. Thank you for saying that.
So when you think about publicity for business owners, what does publicity actually mean?
Well, the truth is, Regina, publicity happens from the minute you walk out your door. So those of you watching and listening, guess what? You're doing publicity whether you think you are or not, because people are meeting you, you're greeting, you're speaking your business. And the reality is you've got to speak your business well. But what I love about publicity is its ability to be a gift, literally, that keeps on giving, because I like to call it the 3 M's. It magnifies you, it monetizes you, and it multiplies you all at once without having to, get on Zoom, get on different calls and connect with people. You actually reach a lot of people all at once. That is exciting, and it's free.
I really love that. And, you said about getting the message out there and stuff like that. When you think about publicity and how to get a message across, I think that is a lot of times people's biggest challenge is, I know what I know how to do and I do it really well. I don't really know how to tell other people. Do you help them with that? Do you help them refine their message so they get the publicity they need?
Absolutely. It's actually one of my gifts, is refining message, creating it so that it's it's integral and it's consistent with who you are and congruent with your message and what's in your heart, spirit, and soul and business, right? And so I think things need to be congruent. It needs to match your personality, but also from a public relations standpoint, it needs to match the needs in the market that reporters have. So that might be a slightly different message than perhaps some people are used to. And I got all kinds of fun ways to get in media to make it simple and easy and create visibility, because I look at media as visibility building activities. And therein lies a big difference between me and many others in terms of what we do and what you say.
Back in my old networking days, I was a member of a networking group, and we used to hear this saying all the time: V plus C equals P. Visibility plus credibility equals profitability.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, and it all starts with that visibility. And a lot of people who I know who are coaches and consultants and even other business owners think often that, okay, I'm not quite sure how to get out there and be visible to people. There's so many mediums today for people to be visible on. So if you're starting out, where do you get started with publicity? I mean, do you need a brand? Do you need a logo? Do you need something? How do you actually start in publicity?
Yeah, well, the good news is there are many ways to get out there now. I look at it as the optimist, and here's a few things. One is whatever medium you enjoy. Like, let's say you work LinkedIn a lot, which probably most of your people do. I'd say do a LinkedIn Live, maybe once a month even. That is a great publicity builder and supports and helps. That's number one. Number two is if you're a member of a local networking group or even a national networking group, find out if they have newsletters, get the newsletters happening, make sure that you're in it. I have publicity systems. I believe in systems for your publicity. And one of my systems is every 60 days, make sure that you've got an announcement going out. This is a really simple strategy that all of you can do. What do I mean by that? This is where you work local, even if you serve national and international, which I do. And in your local market, you have a local business journal as well as a daily paper. Guess what they need? Announcements for their people section. They have a people section. You are all people, as far as I know, maybe with a few pets watching. And, the reality is that people in the news, like we call it where I live, they need content, right? And so I want you to actually make announcements, new clients, new awards, somebody you hired. The point is putting your name out there consistently and persistently. Write those words down. Be consistent and persistent in the market. And the announcement strategy is a great way to do that. Let me just share with you, with one of my books, it was Get Noticed Get Referrals. I did this because I do practice what I preach. I want to make sure it works in the marketplace. And I put it into not only my local, but another place, which is where you went to university. And so my alumni magazine got the announcement that I had a new book out, and you can announce all kinds of different things. And guess what? This gentleman from San Antonio, Texas calls me. He owns a shoe manufacturing company. He says, Jill, I don't remember you, but I do see that, in your alumni announcement, congratulations on the book. I bought the book, and I see in your bio that you're a publicity consultant and strategist. We got a shoe company. We need some help. Well, Regina, that turned into a very big consulting engagement where he flew his wife out to the Bay Area to consult with me on a VIP day. How wonderful is that? I want to tell you the consistency factor is what's going to lead you to that visibility factor and the profitability factor that you're talking about. Same thing happened with a gentleman who owns an insurance company. Exact same thing, followed this and got a huge account. This is what I'm talking about.
I love that. There was so many gold nuggets in that, what you just said. And, when it comes to the visibility, I graduated from college many, many years ago. And that was back in my tech days. I was doing tech stuff. However, I did have an MBA from a university. It never even dawned on me that, what I do. I get their magazine and stuff every month. I never even thought about, hey, alumni's in the news. I never thought about putting anything out there. That's brilliant.
And your undergrad. So grad and undergrad, Regina, now you got two more visibility building activities that are going to start that. I call it the I've heard of her somewhere syndrome. Right? Because when you get your name out there, and again, local is really good because frankly, it leads to national. You'd be surprised how many national media, big shows are looking at local stories because they're trying to get new content, right? And they're watching the local affiliates, which is why I'm always so big on get in media locally. And, it's a very easier thing to do. And also I want to suggest to people to start on podcasts. There's so many wonderful podcast hosts, just like you, people are doing great shows and they need great guests.
And that is so true. There's millions of podcasts that are out there that serve literally every single niche that you can get into. No matter how narrow it is, there is somebody out there that has your audience. And, there was one thing that you said a little while ago about, be consistent and persistent. And it's that top of mind so that all of a sudden when you think of something, I talk to people about their reticular activator all the time. The reticular activating system in your brain is that thing that filters out the non-important stuff that you don't have to pay attention to, right? And so all of a sudden when something does come top of mind, you go, oh, I know a guy, I know a girl. I'm not quite sure. Wait a minute. Yeah, no, I know I saw stuff because they're constantly posting. They're constantly in front of your face. They're constantly in the media. They're constantly seeing your name. So that consistent and persistent is really key to any publicity, right?
Yes, yes. And, literally start where you can start. Some people want to write an article, and that's a beautiful thing. Keep it 500 words, though, simple and easy. Post that on medium.com, fabulous place. Then you become a published author, right? Post it in your wherever, again, you might be a member of. They have newsletters that need content. So articles for some people are a great way to start. But personally, I think podcasts are fairly easy to get today with between matchmaking services and going to iTunes and typing in one word. Let's say you coach on health, type in the word health. Let's see what podcasts show up. These are great first things to do that are fairly simple, actually, and get you visibility quickly.
Now, when you say that, I'm going to kind of dive a little deeper into that one about podcasts, because that is a really great place for people to get that visibility. The thing is that there's some prep work. It's not just, hey, go out and just search for some podcasts. There's some prep work. There's, they talk about having like your one sheet in place so that you could send it out to different podcast hosts and get yourself on there. When you talk about publicity and consulting and what you do, how do you help people to, get started and go, okay, well, I would love to be on podcasts. I have no idea where to start.
I think the first thing is let's look at your message. And the message, is from a media perspective, what problem are you solving in the marketplace? Let's just take the health coach again. And, frankly, between everything we've come off of and still recovering, and many people having, frankly, after effects, et cetera, wanting to stay healthy today. As an example, here are 3 things you can do, right, to stay healthy. And that would be something to look at with, I like to call it, what problem are you solving in the marketplace? And then with that, give 3 solutions, like make things really easy for people. Keep them in 5-year-old language. This is another thing. People kind of talk too over your head, or maybe you're using jargon. Take all that out, and you'll hopefully notice something I'm doing, because I am modeling it, which is use you language. Speak in you language. And I think that makes a big difference for people. So for example, if I may, Regina, let me give you my message so that people can understand how to do this. Does that work?
Absolutely.
Great. All right. So I would say something like, the problem today is 4 out of 5 businesses will go out of business because you have no clue how to create publicity without spending a fortune. I want to give you 3 Guerrilla publicity tips today for how to get your message in the media. The first way to get noticed is to create your ooh, ah factor. The second way is to create the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome. And the third way is focus on networking magic and show up in your communities at least twice a month for name and face recognition. Now, what I just did there was a message. It was like 12, 15 seconds, you notice. It didn't go on and on because, frankly, most media interviews, if you're on TV, for instance, 5 minutes. Like, that's all you got, 5 minutes, right? Podcasts will go longer. You'll have more time to talk like we do. But I will share with you that most, major media interviews are very short. So I want your message out in very quick time. I hope you noticed that I actually gave you real things to do in my message. I put it in 5-year-old language and I said it simply. I just brought 30 years of publicity to a, shall I say, simple and easy message. So that's always something I want you all to do is go easy, use you language. Listen, if you do those few fun and simple things, it's going to make a world of difference. And I think you'll notice that people are coming to you quicker. I'll just share with you, a woman was recently in my publicity breakthrough bootcamp, and we were practicing message. We actually do it. And she goes to a networking event. Now, this is a woman who used to say to me that when she went to networking events, people would ask her what she does. And she's like, deer in headlights, never knew what to say. And she did this and she used this formula, because you can use this formula in networking in media, of course, number one, in connecting with clients and telling people what you do. She closed a $2,000 design client at this event. At the event, she'd never been able to do that in her life. And I think part of that really was the clarity of message. And what I also notice is when you get your message deep and down and practice it, because you do practice it, and that's a good thing. What happens is you have a confidence, and that confidence, what would I call it? Well, that confidence is really seen by people. And then you know what happens. They become your clients, your prospects, your leads, your referrals, the people who are in your tribe, which is great.
That was just brilliant. I don't even know what to say about that because it was just so brilliant. I love the idea of starting out with that ooh ah factor, right? And most people, when at a networking event, whether it's virtual or in person, and you say, well, what do you do? A lot of people have that deer in the headlight looks where they'll be like, well, I do this and I help people with this. And just like I'm doing, it's like, the eyes are up here. It's kind of like the confidence isn't there. And you're definitely not instilling any credibility with people in doing that because
Right.
you're not confident. You don't really know what you're saying or how you're saying it. Even if you know it deep down inside, it's the message that comes out. It's just not clear. And those 3 points of yours is like that ooh ah factor. You started out with something that is going to capture their attention. I think that they say it's 7 seconds or less to capture somebody's attention.
Yeah, 7 to 9 seconds. I mean, and people these days, I mean, it's even crazier. And it does take often 7 impressions to actually make an impression. But listen, my friends, I want you kicking it out the gate right on that first impression. And that first impression does mean a lot. So, it's okay. You don't have to be perfect in all of your words, and I don't think that people are judging that way, but I do think people feel whether or not you know your stuff. And so when you are confident in your message and you have something prepared versus like what you're saying, the eyes shifting, I don't, whatever, however people start shifting around, because maybe, I have to say, maybe it is a little that you're afraid to promote yourself. And I am just going to wave that flag and say to all of you that you are responsible for promoting yourself. Unless you got your mom right in front of you waving the flag and pointing back at you. But the reality is it's your business. It's your probably your passion. It's your contribution, and it is your gift. And so I see publicity as a way to multiply that and to quickly access many people who then, can come back into your field and speak with you and connect to you. And, you figure it out whether it's right or who else might better serve them. But listen, this is your gift. And really, that's the power of publicity, is the multiplication factor of your gift and your contribution quickly. And that's amazing. Cuts down ad costs, cuts down travel costs, cuts down all kinds of fun things that you can then just be really what I might call the speaker of your business.
And that is so true, because I don't think we all consider, especially coaches and consultants who maybe have a home-based business. So they work out of their home. I work out of my home.
Yeah.
I consider myself having a company as opposed to a business. So it's a company that I've built. It's not just I didn't create a new job for myself, put it that way. So what a lot of coaches and consultants do, they fall into this trap of, are you just creating a job for yourself, or are you creating a business? If you're creating a job for yourself, if you don't have your message nailed down, it's probably not going to make too much of a difference. You know what? If you're building a company, the number one thing a company has to do is publicize themselves. Let me just say that correctly. They need to get their word out there, their name out there. And as you're starting off as a sole business owner, and building the company up, you are the face of the business. It doesn't matter where you show up. If you're showing up on Facebook, LinkedIn, on a live, on YouTube, on wherever, if on a podcast, you are the face of your business. And what you said about the messaging has to be clear. I think that's like the first step that a lot of people really need to nail down is, what are you doing? Who are you? What is your message? Who are you serving? And most importantly, you said it a couple times in there, it's all about them. What is the result that they're looking for? It's not about you. It's not about what I'm not saying, here's what I do, here's what I can teach you. It's the what's in it for them.
Yeah.
How can I best serve you and provide the result you're looking for?
Yes, and be the solution provider. Well, I'll call it that, right? Be their countable, I'll call it. But really, also, I want you to remember in media, when somebody's deciding, let's call it a business editor, because you're all in business, right? They need the experts to talk to others about different aspects of building a business. Like Regina, you do transformational business coaching, and how does one have a transformed business in a new market today, right? And we want to always look at that.
Exactly. And I know we're going to be running short on time, so I wanted to put up on the screen here, Jill has this free gift for everybody who's watching and everybody who catches the replay. Don't forget, put a hashtag live, hashtag replay in the comments when you catch this. And tell us a little bit about this free gift that you have for everybody.
Absolutely. So what I've done is created a wonderful publicity action guide. This is like if you love these tips, there's even more inside of that, easily implementable and simple to do. And on top of that, I'm giving you a free publicity masterclass. It is live and interactive with me. I get to answer your questions. I get to pour in more content to you. And I'm super excited to offer you those two gifts actually in one. For that, you go to publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. It's on the screen, and I'm hopefully sure it'll be in the notes. But I look forward to connecting and helping you all.
This has been an amazing conversation. I know we got to cut it a little bit short, and that's okay, because this has just been chock full of golden nuggets on how to get yourself, your business, everything out there for your business and be more visible. And visibility plus credibility equals profitability. So if you need any help whatsoever getting the publicity piece of your business down, I am telling you, Jill is the person that you need to talk to, because this is absolutely amazing. Check out her free gift. Thank you so much, Jill, for being with us today.
Thank you, Regina. I'm delighted to be with you and to help all of you.
Yeah, this has just been such an amazing conversation. I think we could go on for hours talking about this. However, everybody go check out that free gift that she's got and then connect with Jill, because this is a person that you need to know if you're in business. All right. We will see you all next time on Coffee with Regina. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.